Hello, 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 and welcome to the rundown. I'll be your host today. My name is Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
Craig, you've got some gibberish coming through on the speakers there, and I'm not sure what that is. It doesn't sound right. So, hey, welcome to the program. My name is Mike Piwowarski. I am your co-host from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown 2A Views Conservative News, where in Florida we haven't turned into a giant socialist. Craig, you're so socialist there in California that now you're speaking the King's English.
I'm speaking the King's English because we're sitting in a dynasty, in a monarchy, soon to become an emperor, you know.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah, it's getting
Emperor
bad out here, man.
Mussolini.
At least he thinks he's an emperor. He's trying to become emperor of the United States.
Yeah.
For those of you who do
Yeah,
not know who I'm referring to, it is the governor slash tyrant extraordinaire, Gavin Mussolini, the, once again, governor of California, who I am referring to.
Yep, better you than me. I'll stick with Captain Florida. Thank you.
Yes, I will just say I am just, if for no other reason, I would even brave the alligators and hurricanes to have Captain Florida as my governor.
Yeah, well, listen, you remember, don't forget the Sharknadoes. We get those too, but other than that, it's all good.
Sharknadoes. Actually, that's a
Yeah.
Southern California thing, isn't it?
Well, no, we get it. We get shark. We also get Gatornadoes. You don't have those out there, though.
Gatornadoes.
Gator, yeah, Gatornadoes. Yep.
I was talking
Yep.
with a guy who does film distribution, and he was saying that in particular, every week when Shark Week starts to come around, he's like, that's the week. It's like every year you have to make a new shark movie. He's like, doesn't matter how bad it is, just if you make shark movies, they will sell.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Very true. You got to put it out. It's like a Halloween movie, right? You got to put those out every year too.
Every Halloween movies, Christmas movies is another one. Every year, got to have a new Christmas movie. Once again, doesn't matter how cheesy it is, as long as it's a new one.
You know what? I think they continue to put out Christmas movies every Christmas year. We don't need any more. We got all the classic Christmas movies we need. You know.
Yeah, they all pretty much have the same plot, but it is what it is, dude. It is what it is. Hey, Speaking of the same plot, what do we usually do every day around this time in the show?
But people can't see that, Craig. That's off camera.
Those guys right there.
Oh, you want to talk about them? Well, you're making it sound like it's a big secret or something.
No.
Hey, let's welcome our sponsors here. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. That's hitmanindustries.net. Odds are, if you got yourself an AR in the last 5 or so years, you probably already have one of their barrels that don't even know it. But now you can go out and get one all on your own. They're doing individual sales. So go there, get yourself a barrel for your next build, or replace the barrel in the rifle you already have. Let's say hello to our good friends in the California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. And of course, if you want some awesome tactical gear, go to uscombatgear.com.
Exactly, folks. Remember, the descriptions, the links to their websites are in the description of this video. Just go there, check them out if you like what you see, spend some money with them. Also want to let you know, CRA has put up their endorsements for statewide office for congressional and state legislative races soon to come, or local races that are up right now. So if you want to know how the Republican wing of the Republican Party is voting, or would encourage you to vote, make sure you check them out. Make sure you go there, download the list, and fill out your ballots accordingly. Also, if you
Craig, I'm a little upset with them. Oh, sorry.
Why
a little upset with them, Craig. I'm sorry, because I checked the list and my name wasn't on there, so no endorsement.
Yeah, you don't live in California. You're not even running for office in California.
Why should that change the voting rules in California?
Well,
like
if
you guys
it were
pay attention
Chicago,
to?
I would probably, you would probably have a point. We at least have a thing where, maybe not to, be a czar of something. You don't have to live in California, but to run for office, you kind of. Well, actually, no, I take that back, because we do have Doris Matsui, who's I don't think has stepped foot in California the entire time she's been a Californian. But I digress.
There you go.
Yeah, I won't get into it. But anyway, Folks,
Yeah.
hey, by the way, like, share, subscribe. Encourage your friends to do the same. I won't go into the whole long spiel. You guys get it. Tell your friends to watch the show. Tell them how.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it. Do it now. All right, folks, let's jump right into today's topics. By the way, if you guys want to comment, we will be responding to your comments. However you are watching the show, if you're watching it live, go ahead and comment. And we'll see the comment, and we'll hit you back. And if it's a good comment, we'll acknowledge it. But go ahead and just let us know if y'all got something to say. All right, now let's move on to the first topic. Now, Mike, you recall that Governor? Let me clarify. It started with Governor Ducey and with Governor Abbott, right? Governor Ducey of Arizona and Governor Abbott of Texas decided that they wanted to let some of the sanctuary cities throughout the nation kind of feel the pain that the border cities or the border towns are facing when it comes to illegal immigration. So they decided to charter buses and send them to places like New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago, and other major cities. In fact, I did an interview today where a bus has arrived in the state of California, actually right here in Sacramento. Supposedly, we'll find out a little bit more a little bit later. But supposedly we have a bus of our own right here in Sacramento, California. But what's happening is these cities are losing their minds because they don't have the resources to take care of them. For example, Sacramento, California. Yeah, we already have more homeless people than does San Francisco. And you guys all know what a poop hole San Francisco is. So we've already got more homeless here in Sacramento, and we don't know what to do with all of them. So now we've got immigrants, illegal immigrants, people who've crossed the border illegally, being sent from southern states to California. But the most interesting of all of them were the ones who were sent to Martha's Vineyard. Now, Martha's Vineyard, in their defense, is not a sanctuary city, but there are tons of them right there in Boston. But Martha's Vineyard does happen to be the home for, or a vacation hub for the political elite, in particular, the liberal political elite. And oh my God, Mikey, they are losing their minds. The left is losing their minds about what's going on about immigrants being sent to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, Craig, listen, you know why nobody's heard about the bus to Sacramento? It's because when the people there got off the bus, no one noticed. Nobody could tell the difference. They just look like everybody else, like you said, just like the homeless people. Yeah, listen, style points for Governor DeSantis, right? Style points. Okay, we're sending them to Manhattan. We're sending them to Chicago. We're sending them, out west, to New York City. He decides, wait a second here. Massachusetts is a sanctuary state. Let's send them to Martha's Vineyard right there, and the good old Massachusetts. And they have, like you said, they have lost their stuff, Craig. They are going, ape poop crazy. There's Democrats on the Hill calling for an investigation into Governor DeSantis for kidnapping, false imprisonment, and everything else because he allegedly tricked these people into getting on an airplane, leaving another homeless shelter in San Antonio. They got on the airplane going to Florida. The plane was then sent to, like I said, Massachusetts there to Martha's Vineyard. They got off and they didn't know what to do. They said, "Oh no, we took care of them all, Craig. We're putting them up at the local Catholic church." But Craig, what really happened to them?
They shipped them to Cape Cod. They all put them back on a bus, sent them over to Cape Cod, which, by the way, Cape Cod is actually a sanctuary city. But here's what's so funny. So there's about 50 immigrants, right? About 50 folks. Yep. They called up 157 National Guardsmen for 50 immigrants. 100. Yep. Let me give you those numbers again. There are 3 National Guardsmen to every single immigrant, right? And then on top of it, you've got Governor Gavin Mussolini, right? The POS, and you know what I mean when I call him a POS, right? The POS governor of California. He comes out and he says, you know what? DOJ needs to consider kidnapping charges, right? They need to be under investigation for what they did. And I'm like, dude, I'm serious. I'm like, now this is a guy who, by the way, now mind you, this is a guy who so does not know how to stay in his lane. He's put up billboards in 17 other states relating to abortion saying, come to California if you want an abortion. Now, while other states are putting signs in California saying, if you have a business and you want to prosper economically, come to our state. He's putting signs in other states saying, hey, if you want an abortion, come to California. That is how out of line our governor is here in California.
Which makes sense because most of us view California as the biggest abortion around. It's ridiculous what you got.
Well,
going on
but see, Mike, here's the thing. It's consistent. At least we're consistent, right? Look, we're going to kill your rights, right? We're going to kill your jobs. We're going to kill your businesses. We're going to kill your babies, right? That's how California government rolls.
There you go. Yeah, it goes. Well, there you go. At least you got that going for you. You got some consistency, right? So that'll work good when they put you on the rail cars and ship you out. That'll work.
Well, you know, Mike, though, I will give the residents of Martha's Vineyard at least credit for one thing. When they found out that the immigrants were there, many people who live there actually did go out. They did welcome them. They provided clothes and food and things like that. But the one thing that they didn't provide there was a place to stay, right? That's the one thing I cannot say that they one thing where they got it wrong. But the Federalist made an interesting point. And I don't know if you had a chance to read the article yet, but the Federalist actually put out a piece noting 12 stunning Martha Vineyards vacation homes with plenty of room for illegal immigrants. For illegal migrants.
That's a classic.
Check it out. So look. So what they did was they noted these are all vacation rentals, meaning no one's in these places right now. Right? They're not there. The people of Martha's Vineyard, the rich and the wealthy there in Martha's Vineyard could easily offer these places up for them to stay. One here is the Park Estate, 7,000 square foot mansion on 5 acres, breezy. It's $20,000 per night, right, to rent this place out.
Yep.
But you're telling me, but what they're pointing out here is this is a place that could easily house, 7,000 square feet. You got to think they could probably put all 50 of them there. Then there's the Captain's Mansion, which runs from $1,600 to $6,800 per night. 26 rooms. Once again, you could put, if you gave each and every one of them their own room, they could stay here. And the list goes on and on here at the Federalist. You've got the Dexter House, which is interesting because it's only 2,300 square feet, but hey, it's got a sun deck. Come on. These are people who can afford. They're not in these homes anyway, right? Now think about it, Mike. You have in places like California or in some of the cities in like New York, they're literally going around to hotel owners and telling them if they have any empty rooms, they're going to have to rent them to the homeless. In California, they want to pass a law making it, or I think I'm trying to remember if they actually signed it into law, but that where basically if you own a home and it's unoccupied for a certain period of time, something they were considering in Sacramento. That's right. If you own a home and it's vacant, they can actually tax you for vacancy. So if it's vacant for too long, meaning you have to rent it out or you have to put a homeless person in it.
Yep. The old vacancy tax.
Well, exactly. But I'm like, look, you're here's the thing, and I think this goes back to what you were saying is Governor Abbott, Governor Ducey, and Governor DeSantis are all saying, look, you want to put all of this on the border states. And by the way, the funny part about DeSantis is these weren't immigrants who crossed the border into Florida. These are immigrants who were shipped by the Biden White House from wherever they came into the country to Florida. He simply sent them from Florida to Martha's Vineyards. But no one had an issue when they were shipping them to Florida with no warning to the government or to the municipalities there in Florida.
Yep. From my understanding, the way this went down, I've read a couple of different sources, Craig, right? They actually boarded the plane in San Antonio, and then the plane got to Florida, right? And then from Florida, they sent it to Martha's Vineyard. Now, they questioned these people in Martha's Vineyard, and they said they got tricked. They got told when they got to their destination, they were going to get lodging, they were going to get food, they were going to get jobs, they were going to get a lawyer to help them with their immigration. They were told all that in San Antonio before they got on the plane. And so the first couple of news reports reported this as DeSantis tricks people to get them on the plane. And then they realized that all that happened in Texas, not in Florida. And it wasn't the Biden or the DeSantis people that were doing the questioning. This is evidently what the current administration is doing in Texas to get them to go elsewhere.
Folks, this is breaking news you're getting right here. I cannot begin to tell you, because I literally have been looking all over to try and find out if this was happening or not, because someone was when the reporter told me that it happened, and I said, you know what? I doubt. What I told the reporter was, I don't trust the reporting of those who are claiming that, because they're just now covering the fact that there's a crisis at the border. So why should I believe anything they have to say?
You got reporters that are too dumb to realize what the chain of events was. So these people were made those promises, Craig, but they were made those promises by the Biden officials in San Antonio. All DeSantis did was have his people greet the planes and go, no, not your stop yet. One more to go, and redirected them to the north.
Oh, that is epic. That, Mike, that is epic. People need to hear that, because once again, like I said, this is my first time hearing it. Folks, as you can tell, we try to not talk too much about the stories before we come on, because we want to be as surprised by each other's take as you are, right? We want to hear it at the same time you guys do, so that we can enjoy this. We can enjoy this conversation. Who's this? The Island Dub Squad is saying, "Get your facts straight. Why don't you interview me?" I don't know who this person is. I know you see this chat. I live on Martha's Vineyard. I was born here. Oh, someone from Martha's Vineyard is very, very upset with us. The Island Dub Squad.
Right. We told you yesterday, Craig, that they're fine with it until it's in my backyard. Well, wherever you are, Dubs Dread, whatever, now they're in your backyard. And all you could do was take up a donation. It looks real nice. But all they were doing was paying for the buses to get them off the island with that money.
Well, there you go. Well, and by the way, Mr. The Island, I agree with you. There probably isn't a whole lot of housing, but clearly, and once again, the point that the Federalist was doing was they were pointing to, because once again, if this had been in other places, right, where the less fortunate live, where you have small business owners who are running things, they would have forced them to put up those illegal immigrants in their hotels. That's what they would have done. They would have said, "Here, we'll give you money." And they've done this in other municipalities. They literally forced them to take in illegal immigrants or force them to take in homeless people, and now they compensate them, but that compensation doesn't include any destruction or anything like that to the property or anything like that. Not that immigrants would destroy the property. They probably take better care of it than the than the homeless folks have. But
right, true.
But anyway, but the whole point here was that all DeSantis did was do exactly what the federal government did to Florida.
Yep.
So if you want to get upset, go blame Joe Biden.
Yep.
Just saying. But I do thank you. I do thank you for tuning in. I do thank you for commenting. We appreciate the salty comments.
You got salt? We do.
He's commenting on the YouTube channel. All right.
YouTube channel. Yeah, I don't know how to get there.
But here's the thing, Mike. And now there's one thing, and I think you and I agree on this. There's one thing that this has done, and it's forced the mainstream media to finally acknowledge that there is a problem at our southern border, right? We have an issue. You have, to date, this year alone, we have 2 million people have crossed our southern border without our permission. They have entered the United States. That's people who've been caught and detained, most of them released, and the known gotaways. We don't even know about the unknown gotaways. We don't even know about them. But when Morning Joe on MSNBC breaks down and has to admit we got a problem at our southern border, you know we got a problem at our southern border. Okay, well, let's see. Don't look like he wants to talk much. We're going to try that video one more time. We're going to try one more again.
Talking about the crisis at the southern border, and by the way, I understand every 2 years, yes, there's the convoy stories from certain networks of lepers coming to the states, and it's always ridiculous. It's always timed for elections every 2 years, just like clockwork. This time's different. We have a crisis at the southern border. We've had a crisis at the southern border, and it's gotten so bad now that there's some infighting in the administration over how to stop just this torrent of migrants coming across the border in a very uncontrolled, unsafe way that creates a humanitarian crisis. So that's the truth in one of our hands. Truth in the other one of in our other.
All right. So now he's going on to talk a little bit about, well, how egregious it was. And, by the way, I just wanted to note, and I want to make sure I probably didn't upplay it enough, how the people at Martha's Vineyard actually did show up. They did come out. They had no resources there available really to address anything like this, but they did show up. They did work to connect them with resources and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure our commenter knows, yeah, we do recognize that they did do that. But we also again
I don't buy
know,
it, Craig. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. It's NIMBY. It's not in my backyard. The only resources they collected was a bus ticket to somewhere else. That's what they did to those people.
Well, I have seen reports of things that they did do. Now, mind you, it's not like they put them up. It's not like they gave them a place to live or anything like that. And we've already, as has already been noted, there are places they could have stayed.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. Here's some money. Get on the bus. Go to Boston.
All right, but Mike,
we don't like your
at least
here.
We have to acknowledge. At least finally, we've got people in the mainstream media acknowledging that there's an issue at the southern border. I would say public policy, or at least PR success.
Well, I think they're doing it because at this point they're looking around and going, listen, if we don't start talking about this, if we don't start talking about this, Governor DeSantis is going to send them to our house. They're just going to make them show up on our front lawn, work him outside the studio here. So he's not playing. He's a sly fox, that one. Listen, this is a guy who, before he was a lawyer, before he was a congressman, was a lawyer in the military, in the combat zone. Okay. He's got a little bit of skill. He's not worried about your verbal jabs at him. All right. He's taken grenades and live ammo before. So.
Well, no, I completely agree. And it's going to be now that even the mainstream media is acknowledging that there's a problem at the southern border. And by the way, Morning Joe's not the only one. Several media sources have acknowledged it. Even the New York Times is like, yeah, we got a problem at the southern border. It's kind of funny how it takes all of this to finally get media to it takes embarrassing them for them to say, okay, well, to get them to actually see and report on things. And they always seem to do it really, really late. I mean, whether it was COVID, whether it was the vaccine, whether it was Hunter Biden's laptop, whether it was, whatever it is, they always seem to be really, really late on reporting it. But when conservatives report it early on, well, they're called conspiracy mongers.
Yeah. Yep. Very much true. It's now it's like you said, now it's finally news. Now that they have to admit it. And I really believe it's because they want to keep them off their doorstep next. That's the only reason they're acknowledging it.
Yep. Which, by the way, also leads me to the question: does the mainstream media finally get it? There was a story that was out. It was on Fox News, and they're pointing to kind of some changes that seem to be taking place there at a number of the news organizations. And I don't know that I would call it necessarily positive. I don't necessarily say that I would say it's a full-blown change, as much as it is a recognition of how far off they are. And the piece here, and this is actually a Fox News piece. It says CNN, Politico indicate that go woke, go broke applies to news organizations. It talks about how new owners want nonpartisan coverage at CNN, Politico, but conservatives are skeptical. Well, of course we're skeptical. Why, Mike? I can think of a dozen reasons why we're skeptical, because the problem is that the issues is it's not just a function of the problem is systemic, right? In other words, you have people all throughout these organizations who have been raised up, who went to college, who have been raised up through journalism and in college that they are leftists. They are in many cases Marxist, postmodernists. They are social justice, critical race theory sycophants. And they're not interested in anything that doesn't fall in line with that is a lie. So therefore, they're not going to report it. So unless you are going to purge these organizations of those reporters, I don't see how exactly you're going to be able to do it.
I do not either, Craig. They're so set in their ways that it's become accepted now. Look, we basically had 14 years of it now is where they've gone with it. Ever since the Obama started to run for office and took over the media. And again, that's a plan they had all along, right? We know this from what Eric Holt told us a bunch of times. Control the media, control the message, control the masses. And this is what they've done. And now they've been doing it so long. Craig, they wouldn't have had to go out and do a legitimate story if it kicked him in the face, trying to get, two independent sources to verify a story. Nope. What is it about? Is it Bad Man Orange? Run it.
Well, but it's also worse than some of it is they don't even know. For example, there are a number of, and once again, I work with media on the right and the left, and I've worked with a couple of young reporters, and I've had to kind of explain to them, the problem is you don't know what you don't know. You don't know who you don't know. A lot of the foundation of what they think and what they know is based in leftist propaganda. And so they don't know enough or even know who to go to try and get the other side. I mean, for example, how many times when you've been dealing with a gun story, right? And you'll have someone from the media go to law enforcement because they consider law enforcement to be pro-gun.
Yeah, you'll see it. But you know what? That's an education issue. And, they're just looking at it the wrong way. They've got to come around, be in the area a little bit more, be in the story a little more, be in the know a little bit more. But I understand where you're going with it. And I will, let you continue to make your point there. I'd say you're doing rather well.
Right. Part of it is we need a significant change at clearly in some of the journalism schools that are out there. We need people who are going to talk to them about being journalists, not advocates. Yeah. Your job is not to be an activist or an activist if you're a journalist.
That's what I'm saying. There's no more, integrity, in journalism. I don't know if there's a journalism school out there, that teaches anything anymore.
But in their mind, and in the way they teach, if you have integrity, it's because you're standing up and fighting for issues. But that's not what a journalist does.
And that's
journalist reports the news.
But, yeah.
They don't
that
seek
might be
to
fortitude,
influence
but that's not
the
integrity.
news.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yep, I understand, sir. I understand.
Anyway, that there be who they be. All right. We're going to go ahead and move along to our parting shots. Back up there, right there. Okay. So this first one is fun because, it goes right along with our commentary on the Queen Elizabeth and her passing. I know we all believed that it was due to natural causes, but I think a tweet that was sent out by Queen Elizabeth I believe this was, I don't know, this is prior to her death, I'm guessing.
I would hope so. Yeah,
I hope so. Has finally
Otherwise, she's
revealed
got
that
a hell of a plan, yeah.
there may be something worth looking into. You want to read this one for the folks?
Yes, 8th of September, before the Queen passed, says, I have information that will result in the arrest of Hillary Clinton. There you go. There you go. Just like that. Just like that.
Oh.
Yep. Craig, and Craig, if she did send this after she passed, hey, I'm going to find out what plan she's on. That's a hell of a plan. Yeah.
Well, her and Jeffrey Epstein, I guess, are.
Oh, no. The Queen's in a good place.
Oh, the Queen's in the good place.
Jeffrey,
Okay.
I can't tell you what Jeffrey Epstein's doing because that wouldn't.
Hopefully,
we'd get
he's
thrown off the
burning in
internet.
hell.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's burning in hell.
That's too easy for him. That's too easy for him.
All right. This next one. Well, I think this settles a long-term debate, a long-time debate, right? There's always been debates over. First of all, there's no doubt in my mind. 45 ACP is the quintessential. Is my favorite caliber. That's just me. But mostly people argue between 40 caliber and 9mm. But I think this particular tweet by the Nuclear Dad says it all. Okay, and the tweet reads, I want to clarify President Biden's statements. Yes, someone with a 9mm will blow your lungs out. Will blow their lungs out of their body. Comparatively, shooting a person with a 45 ACP will kill their body and their soul. Lastly, shooting someone with a 40 cal will turn them gay. Which is the worst? Should that have a question mark at the end?
Craig said that for the record. I had nothing to do with it.
He's the one who sent me the tweet.
Prove it, sir. Prove it.
I have the Facebook message records. I've screenshotted.
Oh, now you want me to believe Zuckerberg, right? Oh, I see where you're going.
You're no fun, Mike. You're no fun at all.
That wasn't me. I didn't tweet that. I didn't send that. I didn't post it.
You didn't tweet it, but you did send it to me. Anyway. Nope. Okay, nope. Let's move on, Mike. It's about that time to give a shout out to our sponsors.
Yes, let's say have a great weekend from our sponsors at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net, hitmanindustries.net. You got an AR in the past couple of years, odds are you probably got one of their barrels already. But now you can go out and get your own barrel for your own build or replace the one in your rifle. Hitmanindustries.net. The California Republican Assembly, great job putting out their list of endorsed candidates. Go to the California Republican Assembly, take a look and see what they're doing. And then, of course, if you want awesome combat gear, go to uscombatgear.com.
Once again, folks, links to all of their websites are in the description of the video. Please take a moment, visit. If you like what you see, spend some money with them. Tell them that the guys over at The Rundown sent you. All right, that's it for today. That's it for this week. Wow, this week went by really super fast. We hope you have a fun weekend. Hope you get to send a few downrange. And if not, well, I hope you get to tip a few up. In any case, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for liking and sharing and encouraging your friends to do the same. With that, we're going to be out, and we will see you again on Monday. Gun Day. Fun day.